Hello everyone, this is this week's edition for the Good, the Bad, the TNA for TNA Impact Wrestling, May 19th, 2011. And this week I'm going to actually lean more towards the good side on TNA because this was actually a good show that they put on tonight. And I would actually dare to say this was actually better than the pay-per-view they put on Sunday. I did say on my pay-per-view review that Sacrifice was better than Lockdown, but then again, Lockdown was horrible, and Sacrifice was just a little bit better. But TNA Impact this week had great setups for storylines for their next pay-per-view, with some new storylines going in now, and some old ones still going on at this point in time. You have the continuation, and hopefully what will lead to the end of Kurt Angle and Jeff Jarrett, which was actually a very well done segment. They did set up the match for Slammiversary, and it will be a #1 contenders match between Jeff and Kurt Angle. The winner will be #1 contender for their world title, and if Jeff Jarrett wins, he will get Kurt Angle's Olympic gold medal. I will say predictions for down the road, but I think I already know where I'm going with that one. But the segment was very well done, and you had, once again, it looking like Jeff's going to have Karen on his side, and out of nowhere, someone else interrupts and gets Karen to not be in the way. So this time it wasn't China; it was Velvet Sky again this week. So it's a good setup for, hopefully, and this feud itself just needs to end as it is. It's been going on for way too long, but this is a good setup for everything to happen at Slammiversary. So hopefully it will continue on in the next few weeks and continue to be good as it was tonight. And just to continue the going on further with what I actually thought was extremely good on Impact. I like the whole aspect of Immortal going up against the X Division guys. I like how Bischoff has always been one who's down the cruiserweights back in his WCW days, and then the X Division guys as he's come into TNA. He's always viewed them as just the smaller guys and never going to be anything big, where we know some small guys can be big, not all of them will, but some of them do hit it off pretty big in wrestling companies. But they're starting up the storyline with Immortal trying to get rid of the X Division just trying to get rid of the X Division altogether. And tonight was actually an extremely good start to this storyline, with Immortal going over every time against the X Division stars, and that's and honestly, I feel like that was a good way to start it off, having them go over like that, so it can continue the storyline, hopefully build up to whatever they're going to pull off at this pay-per-view or in the upcoming pay-per-views for Immortal versus the X Division. So it was a good start. You had the X Division guys interrupt Immortal, which started into a brawl, which eventually led to Abyss defeating Kazarian for the X Division title, and it led to Samoa Joe destroying Amazing Red, and then it also led into Matt Hardy and Eric Bischoff beating Generation Me. So good storyline start for this one, and hopefully it will continue on in the coming weeks. If they take anything from when they did it back with the Dudley, or not the Dudleys, the Team 3D, to when they were going up against Jay Lethal and the Motor City Machine Gun. Sorry, I lost my train of thought from a storyline in the past, because they kind of started doing this where Team 3D wanted to get rid of the X Division. They tried doing it, failed in the end. So they're attempting to do it here with this storyline. It's a rehash of something old, but the first time they did it was extremely well done. Hopefully they'll do it well again here. The other major thing that I ended up liking was the start of the Sting Mr. Anderson feud. We had been seeing it slowly happening over the last couple months, but now it's going to actually start. And it was actually an extremely well done start for this, because you had Sting coming out about ready to addressing everybody from Sacrifice and what went down at Sacrifice and what he was going to attempt doing in his feud here with Mr. Anderson, and then continuing on trying to get rid of the power from Hogan and Bischoff and trying to put it in the right spot. Put it in the hands of the right people, whoever those right people are going to be. Who knows at this point in time? Probably Dixie or something else. I'm not sure at this moment. Not going to try to make any predictions on it. But you had Mr. Anderson come out dressed up as the old Sting, the Sting back when he was wearing more he was more color vibrant, using different colors. He came out in the old blue and gold, dressed up in an old blue and gold jacket with the blue and gold face paint. It was extremely well done and a great way to start that feud. So I will just go off and honestly say that most of the TNA Impact this week was extremely well done. Just great. You had, like I said, you had Immortal getting getting the upper hand on almost everybody, with getting the upper hand on the X Division guys, or getting the upper hand with Fortune, where they pretty much took out everybody in Fortune with Kansarian, Daniels, AJ, James Storm, and Robert Roode in some way, shape, or form. You had, of course, Abyss beating Kazarian. You had Bully Ray and Tommy Dreamer taking out Daniels and AJ. You had everybody just taking out James Storm, and then you had Ric Flair calling out Robert Roode, which eventually led to a straight beatdown and what looked like to be an injured shoulder, which was playing off the storyline back from Lockdown, where Flair injured his shoulder. So that was actually extremely well done. And then, of course, the starting of the Sting, Mr. Anderson storyline was just all well done. This week's Impact was extremely well done. For once, I'm actually saying that TNA did a good job. So hopefully they'll continue this in the upcoming weeks and continue these storylines and continue to have them extremely well fleshed out and going into the pay-per-view, because every time I've always seen a good pay-per-view, it's always been because of the storylines and how they set up those storylines, which led into the matches being extremely well done at the pay-per-view. This is this week's The Good, the Bad, the TNA. This week it's actually it was extremely good. Thank you for watching and have a nice night.